Great ghost of fashion, we are your rockin' servants. We respectfully ask you, what about bell bottoms? Will they come back?
Happy 2023, everyone. Let's chat about trends. So first and foremost, I think this is kind of a very basic idea by this point. I was gonna make a video essay about it, but then I was like, whole video essay about something this simple? No. Trends are really fast now. And it's not just TikTok's fault. It's honestly, we've been kind of moving towards this whole thing for a while now. It's not just TikTok's fault, honestly. Like, let's be real about this, right? This is just where we were moving in terms of social media, in terms of influences. Everything is in and everything is out at the same time. I think we kind of got to that point where trends have lost their meaning, and honestly, like, who gives a fuck, you know? The biggest problem that I see with this though is the fact that because everyone is still looking towards trends and hoping to follow them, we get a lot of waste happening. Because the thing is, even big brands, even big corporations, designers, they have the money to do it, but they don't actually make good products. Recently, you like a design, you look at the design, you get it, and it's like from a big brand, and you realize that it's actually bad quality. And if you were to wear it properly, like to actually get your money's worth out of it, or just in general to just have a piece that is kind of your signature piece or whatever, it's going to break apart and become dust within one season. And that is a big problem. It's kind of similar to a lot of things, like for example furniture, right? You think about it, you're like, okay, I want to buy a piece of furniture that's going to stay in my home for a long time. Let me look at the more expensive options, maybe buy it, whatever. You struggle to find companies that actually make a good quality, because there are companies that have the marketing of good quality. Genuinely, what is good quality? If you wore a piece once or even for a season and it survived it, like, that's not really quality, it's just normal. You know, it should be normal, technically speaking, because you only wore it for like 3 months or something. The amount of shoes that I bought that can barely survive one fucking season, and they're not even cheap enough to justify it, you know, is insane. The corporations just have us by the fucking throat, you know, and just keep on pushing these products that are not even good quality, that we have to repurchase even if we don't want to, because they just look horrible. You cannot get a job, you cannot keep a job if you look like you just rolled out of bed, and that's what everything looks like, even if you take care of it nowadays, because the materials are shit. It's just, there's so many people in fashion, or people like influencers, celebrities, that give me the ick nowadays, and I don't know what it is. Like, I used to be, obviously I never thought of them as like good people or great people or whatever, but I didn't get grossed out by them, but now I do. Mostly because a lot of the influencers out there right now, I don't really find them interesting or even good or anything, and I don't know whether it's just a me problem, or whether it's like more of like a representation of what's actually going on. I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest. In any case, I opened Vogue and their predictions for the next year, right? So I will talk about my predictions. My predictions are quite quick, and they will be more about the brands than about aesthetics, because aesthetics, at all times there will be a girl who gets famous on TikTok for being early 2000s inspired, and there's going to be a girl at the same fucking time who gets really big for saying that the 2000s craze is over. You know, like, it makes no sense. It's absurdism at its peak. Like, it makes, like, it doesn't matter, honestly. That's why I was like, do you guys really want me to talk about trends? Because I will talk about what's gonna happen. Everything is popular and nothing is. So they're saying the sexy dressing and going out is in. It has been in this year, and it's going to be still in next year. That's what they're saying. Sheer looks, dresses, all of that. Maxi hemlines, sleek tailoring, vintage, whatever. That this year's most Googled pieces, jeans and oversized shirts, according to Google's year-end search report, are as unassuming as it gets. Kate Moss turned in jeans, a tank top, and a plaid shirt at Bottega. Spring-summer 2023 show had us immediately reaching for basics. No, it didn't. We keep wearing this all the time. I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone's wearing this all the time, and I don't know anyone who's waiting with bated breath what Kate Moss is gonna wear next. Whatever, honestly. The standout everyday shoe, ballet pumps, ballet flats are here to stay as our customer looks for polished styles to complement their hybrid lifestyles. fancy flats will dominate the vintage market. Listen, it's not about the flatness of it all. The reason why Miu Miu's ballet shoes became so big is because there's been a lot of people, a lot of young people being funneled back into high fashion circles on Twitter and Tumblr, which turns into a little bit of a toxic place. Obviously, there are great people on a high fashion Twitter who are not pro-Anna kind of bullshit type of people, but there's a lot of those that are, and with that comes a lot of mishmashing with European people from France and Russia. And I can tell you from firsthand that we are weirdos that are obsessed with thinness, okay? It's not good for any of us. Honestly, it's nonsense, but it is how it is. A lot of that comes with being a ballerina, being in ballet since you were a child, being obsessed with ballet, being obsessed with becoming an actual ballerina. Honestly, it's a very hard thing to do, especially if you are in Europe. And a lot of this became popular again, and obviously the aesthetics of ballet core became popular again. It's not because it's a flat shoe, it's because it looks like a ballet pointe. What is it in English? Oh my god. Point shoes, I guess? I don't know. Because they look like that. That's what sold them, okay? And Miu Miu is basically at the forefront of selling to those girls who are 17, not eating, are miserable, and looking up to Wanyang from IVE as to what they want to look like. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of mishmashing going on of different types of cultures and whatever right now, because obviously globalization. We have this new aesthetics that are kind of like Frankenstein aesthetics, because they already existed before. It's nothing new, but it just mishmashed in different way because we're interwoven a little bit more than we used to be. This is the reason why Miu Miu is so big this year. This is the reason why these shoes are so big this year, is because ballet is back in with those girlies. Anyway, the best pieces to invest in transcend trends and will stand the test of time. Does this really need to be said? I mean, honestly, like, the people who can afford a whole wardrobe of luxury pieces, they're not thinking about longevity. You guys have to make good quality garments for people to actually invest in you, okay? I think you kind of forgot about that. The amount of times I'm like into a design, like a piece of clothing, and then I find it in real life, I touch it, and it's just terrible material and the quality is shit, and I just stand there thinking, oh my god, I could have spent like $5,000 on this shit, thinking that I'm getting something that's going to be in my wardrobe for years and years and years, that I will be able to wear a lot because it's made well.
Bullshit.
3D designs in clothing, right? I mean, it's cute, but it's not functional. So it's going to be popular with celebrities. It's going to be popular with artists who do a lot of, you know, editorial stuff. But it's not going to be something that people are going to be able to wear, because just like that belt skirt from Diesel, it's cute. I personally really like what it looks like, but it's impossible to wear it in daily life. Like, come on now. The future is sheer, so they're talking about sheer, and this is what I wanted to talk about, okay? So this is one of the things that I kind of wanted to mention when I'm talking about things that I'm predicting, right? And one of them is the fact that Fancy Club, listen, I really hope it's not gonna happen. I really hope that they will come up with another piece that's going to kind of take over, just so they don't associate with one thing that everyone already stole last year from them. But Fancy Club were basically at the forefront of making sheer clothing, especially sheer dresses, really, really popular, adapting the whole fairy dress aesthetic to their designs. Again, a lot of lame people got their hands on it. I don't know if Kardashians wore it yet, but I feel like it's close. If they haven't yet, it's coming. It's coming. And I know that as soon as they touch something, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry. I just really do not like their aesthetic. Everything about their aesthetic is like,
get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Make it stop. They need to come up with something new just so they stay at the forefront of fashion, but new within their realm, obviously, because they already had a really good moment with their corsets. They definitely did. They had really good moments with their sheer two pieces, their dresses. I absolutely love these dresses, but I started to see them way too much, and I think that in the next year, those dresses, everybody's gonna be wearing it, which is, I guess, fine, as long as they come up with something else that's going to keep them on the map as like avant-garde, in quotations, I guess, because nothing is new, but you know what I mean. Everybody took what Fancy Club had and just ran with it. It's really strange that they did not mention Fancy Club anywhere here. They're like talking about it as if it's just about to show up, and it's like, no, why don't you talk about people who actually came up with it? I don't know. Anyway, then they're saying, but modesty is in too. See, this is the thing that is happening right now. Sheer, sexy clothing, literally sheer, like you're not wearing anything under it, everything's out, is in. But also modesty is in. Long hems, like long skirts, career wear, put together aesthetics, maxi skirts, maxi skirts, maxi skirts, because mini skirts dominated last year, you know? It's exhausting at this point because it's like there's no cultural phenomena anymore. It's just random shit that corporations are introducing every 3 months just for the sake of selling more and more and more. And this is the thing that fucking keeps me up at night. Every few weeks I just cannot fall asleep because I'm thinking about how idiotic it is that businesses think that there should be constant growth in their business. Like, not sustained profit, especially for, like, if you're selling mini skirts that are super mini, for example, there's a certain demographic that's interested and everybody else are not interested in it. When you reach it, that's what should be your norm of what you should be aiming for. But they aim to grow and grow and grow every fucking quarter. It's insane. Like, you need to understand that there's a limit to that. Someone said, I'm done with the seat at the table, let's just dismantle the whole table. Iman on the need to reset fashion's agenda. I wonder what kind of agenda we're talking about, but it does sound like something I would want to do, to be honest. My predictions. First and foremost, I think that mesh, silver mesh, or any other metal mesh is going to have another peak this year. Paco Rabanne and Versace are gonna have a field day with that. They're gonna sell a bunch of their dresses, especially Versace are gonna probably come out with some basically fancy club type of dresses but with metal mesh to throw it back to their iconic looks from the 90s. They're really gonna be milking that. The metal mesh is gonna be fucking used and abused this year, okay? It's not new, but it's gonna have its peak this year. The Slavic girl core, like fur hats, fur trims with like short dresses underneath, big boots, a winter type of aesthetic, is gonna stick around for a little bit longer, but it's not going to be as fresh as it used to be a couple of months ago. I think it was the freshest in like August. Now it's kind of losing its steam or whatever with the fashion forward people. It's going to pick up with the people who are on the outside of the fashion world. They're going to be like, oh my god, new aesthetic. Shu Shu Tong is going to get a lot of Western attention, but it's not going to actually just sell as much as Miu Miu is going to release more and more stuff that's kind of very Shu Shu Tong and take over Shu Shu Tong's place in the Western market. Prada and Miu Miu, they had their peak this year. I think that Miu Miu is probably going to have their peak in about 2 years in terms of really growing fast in popularity. Prada is going to just sustain their popularity in the next year. They might combust on themselves if all of the products that they released and sold last year are not good quality. I don't know whether they are or not, but if they are not good quality, they're gonna combust on themselves and kind of have like a bit of a PR issue. If they have made pretty good quality stuff, they might survive that and be totally fine. And their revival was successful last year, especially. It is riding on their logo though, but that's to be expected in fashion, honestly. Everyone's just obsessed with logos. Diesel is gonna have a peak in terms of commercial success this coming year. They are going to sell a ton of shirts with that D logo, metal and cut out. It's literally gonna be on everybody, like everybody. And it's cute, you know, I personally like their logo, it's cute or whatever, but it is just like, it's gonna be just a trend, you know, just another thing. Especially their dress that's made out of metal mesh type of material is gonna have its peak. I think that they're probably gonna re-release it in a new color and have the highest peak with that design. YV Min and Melted Potato are gonna have their moment with the Western masses because they already got stolen, obviously, like their ideas and everything by the Western market. But both YV Min and Melted Potato, they're either going to have their biggest year next year or they're gonna have a biggest year in terms of Y Project recreate basically every single piece that they have made that got really viral in spirit. You know, it's gonna be a little bit different, but it's probably gonna be the same thing, like a massive flower earring or whatever. But with Y Project, it's probably gonna be made out of really cheap materials covered in glitter or something like that instead of proper materials like YV Min does it. Look out for that. That's gonna be fun for us. Vivienne Westwood. Listen, Vivienne Westwood, the company is gonna have like like some shakedown this next year. They're gonna be moving shit around. They're gonna be deciding who gets what, who's gonna be doing what. I hope Vivian's wishes about her brand are gonna be respected, but I know that they won't be. I know that, for example, she wouldn't want any of the perfumes to be fucking sold, especially those that were after the first one. The first one was her idea, and it was a specific scent that she wanted to be sold and to represent her brand. Every other perfume that was made after that was not approved by her, and she actually made them stop producing those perfumes and like take them off the shelves and stuff like that. So we'll see. I have a feeling that they're going to move into the perfume market because Vivian is not gonna be in the way of doing that for them anymore, and they're definitely not going to respect her wishes. I have a feeling that that's gonna happen because you know how people are. I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of changes when it comes to Vivienne Westwood. Score vintage finds from fellow hustlers.
Are you ready for this?
Also, I predicted there's going to be a couple of new YouTubers who are going to get big. Big as in Emma Chamberlain big, like really big. We're really past due for a new one, honestly. I don't know how long has it been? I feel like we've been just getting gamers and stuff, and like all of them are guys and none of them are interesting. I'm like really waiting, and I really hope that there's going to be a lot more fun drama, but like fun, not weird or racist shit, okay? Like a really big YouTuber crossing over in a weird way to the mainstream or whatever. Instead of it just being, oh, they showed up at Met Gala to, you know, interview people, it would be like some kind of scandalous reveal in a magazine or whatever about them dating someone who is like a celebrity or something like that.
Whoa, this is the best tea I've ever had.
That you wouldn't expect. And please no big age gaps, please and thank you. Just something fun that you don't expect and everyone just being like, what the fuck, you know? I miss that shit. Silly little things like Harry Styles dating Taylor Swift for like a month or something like that. That was fun. That was funny. The way that people were reacting to it, the way that she wrote a bunch of lyrics, a bunch of songs about that. Like, I want that kind of messy, that it's really fun and lighthearted and maybe a little bit manufactured. I don't know. I'm just here to be entertained, and I'm not being entertained right now, okay? If it's some celebrity dating another celebrity, it's just not as crazy. Do you know what I mean? I'm just waiting for like the new big YouTubers to entertain me. Hopefully not under 18. I don't really want to watch videos of someone who's underage. Give me something, you know, like do something. I keep on looking at my recommended page every day, hoping for something new. It's always just like Hailey Bieber clones, which is so boring. You guys need to like create something new, okay? I need something entertaining while I'm working 24/7. You know, I'm gonna release a video of top 10 YouTube videos from 2022 in a few days because I just want to, and I want to have a little bit of fun. Put your suggestions down in the comments of videos that you loved. I'm going to be talking about my favorites, so it's not going to be like objective kind of stuff. It's going to be just like, oh, things that I love to watch. And we are officially in the Bratz era. Yeah! Which means that there's going to be a lot of Bratz memes, new memes, you know, that I'm going to be finding as I'm rewatching everything because I'm making a deep dive. Let me know which Bratz meme I should recreate. I do not want to recreate that one that's with like messy hair because it's been done so many times before. So I'm just like thinking about which one I should remake, and I don't mean as a video, I mean like as a still image. So let me know if you have some suggestions. I already have a few ideas, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will be back, and I'm working on the Bratz video, so get ready for the deep dive, and I will tease it as if it's a fucking album drop again because I'm dramatic and I love it, okay? Here's a picture of Pika. Have a good day.